Morning and welcome to the Scrummy Cooking Kitchen. Today we're going to be making some low carb tortillas. The reason that I'm making these low carb is because that is the lifestyle that I choose. A couple of years ago I cut starchy carbs and refined sugar from my diet for health reasons, and you know, it's had its challenges, but I feel 100% healthier for having done that. So I eat lots of fruit and vegetables, meat, dairy, pulses, nuts, seeds, all the sort of healthy things. But what I don't eat is anything that's made with refined sugar and anything that's made with plain flour or self-raising flour, those kind of things. So, you know, when I first started and was doing my research, I was thinking, oh my God, how am I going to cope without bread and pastry and pasta and all the, you know, cakes, biscuits, all those things that, you know, we kind of tend to go to as a quick, easy sugar hit. You know, throughout my time researching and trial and error, I came across this amazing product here, which is ultrafine fibre flour. Now, why is it amazing? Because it works in a very similar way to plain flour. So that means I can have bread and I can have pastry and I can have cakes and I can have biscuits, but using this, it doesn't damage my health like it would do if I was using plain flour. That's not the same for everybody. You know, this is my lifestyle choice based on issues that I was having. You know, everyone's different, everybody's body reacts differently to different types of food, so it's what works for you. But I know there are a lot of people out there who do eat a low carb diet and do struggle to find really good recipes to replace the things that they can't have with something that's familiar. And you know, ground almonds are brilliant, but if you make bread with ground almonds, it's like eating cake. Whereas if you make bread with this, it's more like eating bread. So I find this product to be really, really good. I'm going to put the details of it in the description underneath the video, and there will be a discount code if you wanted to get some money off, if you wanted to give it a go. I mean, I would recommend it if you're on a low carb diet or you're thinking about the low carb diet, but the one thing I would stress is when you eat this way, you've got to be prepared to put in the time to make the food yourself. Otherwise you're going to be on a very, very limited diet. So that's just a little word of advice there. But let's get cracking, shall we? So we're going to make the, I'm only going to make 4 wraps because I don't want to keep them for long periods of time. So I'm just going to do a small batch. So for this I need some flour. Right, so I've got a cup of flour, which I'm just going to pop into the bowl. When I measured this on scales, it worked out at about 170 grams. But cups are easy, so I'm going to just use cups today. Okay, so I'm going to use some baking powder, and I just want 1/4 teaspoon. That's going in. And then I want 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And I'm just going to mix those in so it's all not in clumps. I'll move that out of the way. And then I'm going to add to that, right, in here I've got some water and some olive oil. I filled it's warm water, and I filled that up to about 1/3 cup and then topped it up to the 1/2 cup measure with some olive oil. Let's pop that in. And that's all you need. If you are on a low carb diet, this flour works out less expensive than using ground almonds. I think I might need a little dash more water in here. I know what consistency I'm looking for, and this is too dry at the moment. I'll show you that. See, at the moment it's too dry. So still too dry. Let's get that out and give it a knead and see how we're doing. Let's move that out of the way. Okay. This is good. Might look sticky, but because this flour has got tons of fibre in it, it needs to start off a little bit sticky because the fibre will absorb the water. And if you don't have enough in, then it will go quite dry. So kneading it is going to also help get the gluten going, and the gluten is what makes the stretch. You know when you pull a piece of bread apart and it kind of tears, but it's the gluten that does that. And we want to activate it by kneading it, and then we're going to let it rest so that it can go ah. And when it rests, there we go, got a nice firm dough there. When it rests, it means that when you roll it, it doesn't shrink back. So you know sometimes when you roll something out, like say you're rolling a pizza dough, and you roll it, and as soon as you've rolled it, it's kind of shrinks back to half its size, and you think, well, why did that happen? It's because the gluten hasn't rested. So it's just a little tip. But what we're going to do is we're going to cut these into 4 pieces because I'm making 4 wraps. Just going to roll it and flatten it a bit. And I'm going to stick these on a plate and let them rest. So let's just pop them there. So when that's done, come back and I'll show you the next bit. Okay, welcome back. So I prepared some earlier so that I could actually roll these out. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to roll it out so you can see how they go. You can already see that they don't look really any different to if I made them with using normal flour. And we're just gonna cook them. So I would like a sort of medium heat. I'm just going to turn this on a medium sort of heat. We want to put it into a warm pan. Okay, no oil or anything in the pan, just pop it in. So what we're waiting for here, we just want to do it a minute or so on each side, and we're waiting for bubbles to come up. And when you lift it up on the other side, you'll just see it's slightly colouring in places. I find these are a little bit like, you know when you make pancakes and the first one's always not as good as the others? I don't know why that is. but this is a bit like, you know, once you get the pan to the right temperature, then it starts to become a bit quicker. Right, we're starting to see some bubbles coming. I don't know whether you can see that on that camera. Oh look, nice big bubbles coming. So it's the water that's inside the dough that's going to heat up and steam and sort of cook the inside and the outside at the same time. Can you see that? It's quite impressive, isn't it? I actually really like making these. Right, I'm going to burn it. Needs a little bit longer. I perhaps could have rolled that one a little bit thinner, where it's puffed up. Now these will keep in an airtight container for sort of 3 or 4 days. If they start to go a bit hard, what you can do is you can put a damp piece of kitchen towel on them in the microwave and blast them for about 20 seconds, and then they, there we go, become soft again. Look at that. They do have a slightly more sort of grainy texture than plain flour ones, but they do the job. You know, you can have them for lunch. I'll turn that down slightly. You can make fajitas, enchiladas. There we go. It didn't take so long on that, so I'm just going to do it for a couple more seconds. Let's see if the second one that we do is going to be any quicker. That's it. Oh, leave it at that. There we go. One. In with the next one. That smoke that you can see is just bits of flour burning off. Not going to worry too much about that. If you wanted to get that off, you can just take a bit of kitchen towel, wet kitchen towel, just take those off. Just going to turn the heat down slightly. If you have it on too high, it's not going to cook in the middle and it's going to be very, very doughy, and the outside will burn. But if you have it too low, then it takes an eternity. So it's just finding the right temperature, and I think that's why the first one maybe always comes out a bit weird, because you're kind of adjusting the temperature all the time. This one's doing a lot quicker. You can see those bubbles. It's because the pan is hot enough. Look at that. Very satisfying. Very satisfying indeed. Look, it's blowing up like a balloon. And over it goes. Whee! I don't want it to burn, so I'm just keeping an eye on it. It will kind of go back down again. There we go. Number 2. In with number 3. So apart from waiting for them to rest for sort of 15 minutes or so, it's really quite quick. It's quick to mix, it's quick to roll, it's quick to cook. Unlike some breads that you make. In a later video, I'm going to show you pizza dough using this flour, because that's really good. Woohoo! That is satisfying. I've made a balloon out of flour. Okay, so last one. So I'll put the recipe in the description below. I'll put the details of the flour in the description below. And as I say, during January I'm going to be showing you lots of recipes that use this flour. And all I can say is, you know, I'd recommend giving it a go, because for a low carber, that is a very, very pretty sight. Here it comes. Right, that's almost done. So I shall just say bye for now. If you like this video, please hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to the channel. If you want a notification of when my next video comes up, please hit the notification bell. If you've got any comments, please write them in the comments below. And on that note, I shall say see you next time. Bye for now.